Good morning, my little world. For the third time today, I'm trying to record this video, and it's about a piece that I had previously recorded for a radio show. It's about our guides and our relationships and basically how things work in the spirit world. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like, subscribe, and share. And I hope this is a really meaningful lesson for you, because I'm meaning it to be a really meaningful piece. I want you to think about it, and I want you to share it, and I want you to come out and be the best that you can be. So here's your message. Love to all. Our guides and how we get our guides. I've seen a lot of guides in my visions. Marcus has showed me some very interesting things. And everyone in the world is guided by different forces, different beings, different reasons. It depends upon your path in life. There's no one angel for somebody. There's no one spirit for somebody. There's never just one animal for somebody. There's always multiples. That's the thing about the universe, is its multiplicity. We live in this multi-dimension life force. And in this multi-dimension, many different beings exist. Human beings, animals, plants. It's just a myriad of existence. So why would we be so small to think we only existed on Earth? Most of the time when a person leaves a human form, they've been through the human life a few times. They've been through many times. They've absorbed just about every lesson that they cared to learn. And they want to be able to move on and evolve. And a lot of people don't know about evolution past human life. But there's so many other things a soul can do, because souls are evolutionary for the long haul. Your soul is always moving. It's an evolutionary spiral. Sometimes you're on the outside of the spiral, and sometimes you're a little tighter on the inside of the spiral. But it depends upon how fast you're going to your next lesson, or how far away you are from your next lesson. And this message right now is being channeled from Source. So excuse me when I pause or when I breathe. I'm trying to take it all in, and my body processes feelings. I don't hear words. I don't see pictures. I process words, and I process those feelings into words, the best words I can, the most fitting words I can. So I'm sorry sometimes if the words are hard for me. So here you are, a human soul. Many don't know the difference between a soul and a spirit. So let me tell you what it is. A soul is a culmination of all lives, all energy, all love you've ever had in any of the other adventures you may have had, because I can't call it life. Sometimes a soul doesn't experience life, they experience death. Sometimes a soul experiences animacy, where it becomes an object, maybe from another object. And when it no longer meets that need, then it's, done with its evolutionary journey and it returns back to soul. So what's the difference between soul and spirit? Spirit is the person that you knew, your dad. You knew the spirit of your dad. You knew his smile. You knew when he was happy. You knew when he was sad. You knew what he looked like. That's your dad's spirit. And people often feel like when they're channeling spirits, they go and see somebody who's a psychic. And being psychic and channeling are two different things. Okay? Being psychic may involve hearing things, seeing things, knowing things in different ways than I know them. And most of the time, I only know the things that are beneficial to me. I've asked Spirit only to show me the things that are beneficial to me. I don't want to know all the other things that I don't really need to know. And that's the amazing thing about Spirit. That's how they'll respond to you. If you don't want to know, and if it's not essential for you to know, they'll skip over it. And kind of that's how we move through our quantum reality as well. It's you can ask Spirit to move you from where you are into a new quantum reality. Maybe a quantum reality where you can skip over some of the stuff that you don't really have to learn. Maybe some of them time fillers, or small and obsolete messages. Instead, be asked to put on your best life, your quickest path. You're ready to allow and accept without judgment, without holding on. You're allowing. And allowing is a very powerful word. Because, they don't say you're allowed to drive a car unless it's a big thing. If it's not, Dad hands you the keys for the 100th time, says, oh, here's the car. So we all have these monumental milestones in our lives. And so, being differentiating between human life and evolutionary life is often hard for people. They think that when we're doing something, let's say our boyfriend cheated on us, and we're gonna walk away. Maybe it's his apartment, maybe it wasn't. Maybe you weren't living together. Whatever. But you're gonna walk away from that energy because it's not the energy that you need in your life. It's not the energy you thought you had in your life, and you're not wanting to deal with a cheating partner, which is perfectly fine. So many times, people find themselves at a part in their life that they don't really understand. And a lot of times when people get to that point, they do some soul searching. And if you're interested in soul searching, that's a whole different subject. We'll have to do another message about that. But anyway, we all have that access to that universal, collective consciousness. We have so much information at our fingertips to solve every single problem in our lives. We just have to be brave enough to ask for the solution. We need to ask to be guided. So many people don't know when they're guided. They don't know, they have no idea. Synchronicity exists. You meet people at certain times for certain reasons. That relationship with someone didn't work out for a certain reason. There's something better coming along. You didn't marry that guy that you were really crazy about for a reason. You failed a class in college. Maybe it was for a reason. And many times we don't realize that our failures bring us just as big a lessons as our successes. We're here trying to be a success in our lives all the time. We want to be better. We want to make more money. We want to, have that notoriety. Excuse me. But, sometimes it's just not our time. It's not our time. It's divine timing. And what determines that divine timing is how well you've done in your evolutionary path. Have you learned the lessons that you need to learn? Here's a good way to tell. Are you learning the same lessons over and over again? Are you having the same kind of failed relationships over and over again? Are you losing your job over and over again? Are you having to move over and over again? These are all just so many different types of lessons that every person has to learn. And learning any human environment and learning any spiritual environment are two totally different things, and it makes all the difference. It makes all the difference. And sometimes we feel like, we're less. My sister's got a bachelor's degree and she makes $110,000 a year. I've got a bachelor's degree and I make $50,000 because I work for myself. Each thing has its own merit. And, judging yourself against others or judging others against you only creates that barrier of contact. And humans fail to realize that they've always had that point, that right of contact, that divineness amongst them. They've always given that power and that thought away to somebody they thought was higher or more important. You give that loyalty to your boss or to the head of the company or to the richest person you know. And it's amazing, humans judge each other on monetary value. So am I less value if I have less currency, if I have less money? And if I am, maybe that's a lesson I needed to learn. Maybe I needed to learn to manage my money differently. Maybe I needed to learn how to make my money differently. So many people misunderstand their journey. We're not here to be punished. And when you pass on, you're not there to be judged. Yes, it's true, you can judge yourself, but most people don't. Because being non-judgmental or being judgmental is a human emotion. And when you're no longer in a human body, you embody nothing but love. There's so many more things to be. So that's how we get our guides. We have people who have, close to parallel lives or parallel interests. They may have been through some of the things we're going to have to go through, and their job is going to have to be to, guide us through. They can see the big picture, but it doesn't always mean they're going to see the collapsing bridge in the middle of the road. Some things are left to that human emotion and that human reaction and that human interaction, whether it does or doesn't happen. People will often wonder how could I be attracted to this guy that's really not my type? But your soul knows sometimes it's just way different than we thought it would be, because we have this perception. We have this perception of the afterlife instead of a reception of the afterlife. People don't realize when you leave your human body, you change into this energy form, this being, this embodying, and you're radiant with all your new lessons. You're not weighed down by all your new failures. You're lifted up because you completed your journey. You're not weighted down and punished because you didn't act the way someone else thought you should act. So we get our spirit guides from people who want to be much of the same. We get our spirit guides from people who want to evolve, who don't want to be human form, but they want to evolve in this lesson. They want to be a part of it. They want to